Okay. So, with everything going on right now, we thought it might be a good idea to do a little social distancing survival guide. Obviously, this is something that is affecting us all and very timely. So, today I'm going to go through some different areas of our health. I'm going to go through physical health as well as social health and mental health, and even some occupational health, and talk about some things that we can do right now to just make sure we're taking care of ourselves and putting ourselves kind of in a good place. And if you don't know me, my name is Nicole Brors. I am a local nutritionist and herbalist. I spent most of 2019 traveling, and I just got back about 2 months ago and found a house in OB, luckily. So not traveling during all of this. And normally I am working with women, mostly women, but everybody in one-to-one consultations, usually for a 6-week period, helping people learn how to create a health plan and eat in a sustainable way that they can do long-term to reach their health goals. A lot of times it's losing weight, sometimes it's managing hormones or getting better sleep, just things like that, all areas of their physical health. So I wanted to start off today with a little meme because I think that a little laughter is good right now. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. Sure, there we go. But I saw this and I thought it was kind of funny and kind of relevant. Can you all see my screen? Yeah, little thumbs up. Okay. So those are some good travel ideas for the weekend. Thought that was funny. Let me go back to the video. And so to start off, when we're thinking about this, when we're thinking about what's happening right now, it's easy to think there's a coronavirus, there's this big pandemic, like this is happening to me. Whatever your job is, maybe you're not working, maybe you are on a break, maybe you have a studio that's closed. I think it's easy for a lot of us to slip into this mindset that says, what's going on? Everything is over, life is no longer how I need it, and I can't do my job anymore. And I think the first part of the mindset is to switch into a focus of, expansion and opportunity rather than just closing off all of that. So instead of saying, I have this job, I can't work, saying, okay, what else can I maybe do right now? Who else can I help? Or how can I use my tools to help? Or thinking about, how you can use this event to change the trajectory of our lives a little bit. Because this is something that we are all going through. And this is something that, I've seen some people just be like, I'm closing up shop. I can't do what I've meant to do. And then I've seen some people with really, really creative solutions. So an example of this is there was this fitness studio, they were a cycling studio, and they're like, okay, we have to close our studio. But instead of saying we're going to close, a couple days later, they came back to their email list and they said, we are going to start delivering all of our bikes. We're going to deliver all of our bikes. You can rent our bikes for a couple weeks, and then you can start taking online classes with us. So they are actually keeping their business going in a really creative way. Now, it could have been very easy for them to just say, I'm closing up shop, I'm done. And instead, they open it up to say, like, okay, what other possibilities are there out there? And, obviously everyone's situation is a little bit different. So there's going to be different solutions for everyone, but just keeping that mindset that maybe this is an opportunity to dive into something that you've been wanting to try, or maybe this is an opportunity to see how to take your business online. I want to do a quick poll here. How many of you guys before this were working from home? If you just want to go in the little chat and just give me like a yes or no, or let me know so I can kind of get an idea. And, okay. So we do have some people working from home from time to time. Okay. So it looks like there are a couple of people that work from home. So some people are kind of used to this. Some people, it's a big adjustment. I know for me, I'm an extrovert, and I actually yesterday, after quick story, after hearing that we are going to be shut down till pretty much at least the end of April, I think it hit me that like I can't go out to my networking meetings. I can't go out to face-to-face meetings. I can't go out and socialize and dance and do all the things that I love to do and go to yoga classes. And I just had a moment of just being like just not feeling very good, kind of feeling the stress and the overwhelm of it. And I'm fortunate that I can work, but just feeling like, man, okay, there's a lot of parts of my life that are going to become unbalanced. And so I think having that thought last night kind of directed what I'm going to talk about today as far as mental health and our physical health and things like that. So to start with mental health, right now, there are a lot of things that you could be doing. We could be organizing our house. We could be working on new projects. And if that's something that calls to you, if you're like, I've always wanted to learn to play guitar and I've always wanted to learn to do art, like this is a really, really great time. There's so many online resources right now to do these kind of things. So this is a great time to really go into it. And if there's something that you've been wanting to learn or try, that's great. But I think the opposite side of that is don't feel like you should be doing something because it's like, oh, I'm home, I should be doing this, or now is the perfect time. I think that for a lot of us, this is a little bit like a reset button, and it needs to be like you are going on full speed. You need to just take a break and just check in with yourself and see where you are with that. Are you one of the people that's like, okay, I just need to take a week or a couple weeks and like really reassess and relax? Or, okay, I can really like start making time for the things I want to make time for. So figuring out where you are with that and then figuring out the plan that's going to really fulfill you is something that can be really beneficial for our mental health. Another thing is really paying attention to what we're doing first thing in the morning. So I talk a lot with my clients about health-wise, what we're doing, and what we're putting into our bodies food-wise. But I think the kind of information that we're taking in is also really important. And it's really easy to wake up first thing in the morning and be like, okay, what's the latest news? What's going on right now? Certainly every day things are changing and there's new stuff to learn about. And I think it's important to stay informed, of course. But the first thing in the morning, I don't know that that's the first thing we need to be consuming in our minds. So taking time in the morning to just do some deep breathing, do some meditations. There's some great apps, Insight Timer or Shine, if you need an app for that, or if you just want to wake up and just show some gratitude, do something in the morning to kind of ground you a little bit. I really like also to go outside because it's easy for us to get, if we're working from home, to get to like 1 p.m. and be like, shoot, I haven't gone outside yet. I don't know if you guys do that, but I certainly have been guilty of that. So my morning my morning routine is to wake up, do a meditation, have some hot water with lemon, go outside and kind of set my day, and then, consume, be like, okay, what do I need to learn about today? Maybe I'm going to spend 15 minutes and check in and see what's going on. But we have this ability with social media to really control what kind of information we take in. If you have a feed that's full of a lot of people freaking out and panicking, that's going to affect us. That's going to affect our outlook on what's happening. But my feed personally is a lot of people that are really positive, and I'm seeing also really positive stories and people being creative in their businesses and people reaching out and supporting each other. So if that's not what your feed is and that's not what you might be consuming, maybe take a look at that and see if you can tailor that a little bit so that the external energy that you're consuming as well as the food that you're consuming is nourishing to you. So that's a little bit about some of the mental health. For me last night, when I kind of had this moment of freaking out, I realized I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to center myself or to ground myself? And like, I think some physical exercise would help. So I logged on and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do all these home workouts. And I started going through some home workouts. I'm like, this class isn't really doing it for me, or like this workout isn't really doing it for me. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put on some music. I'm gonna maybe just do the minimal, maybe just like do some crunches or something. So I put on the music and all of a sudden this really, really great song came on. And as soon as the song came on, I just got up and I started dancing. And I was like dancing by myself. I'm hoping nobody saw me. I was outside on my deck, just dancing. I danced for 40 minutes. And it made me realize that like we need to find a way to do the things that we love. And it's not, I was like, I use that word should. It's like, I should be working out. But it was like, I really needed to do, what do I like to do to work out? I like to dance. So for me, like, even if I'm dancing by myself, it's not going to be the same, but it's, some kind of normalcy and something I realize that keeps me balanced. So finding what that is for you, whether that is the online yoga class, don't feel like you need to try all these new things if those aren't your things, but certainly there's a lot of things that you can either try or just find the things that really center you and ground you and go back to doing those just in a slightly different way. So that is a little bit about the mental health part that I wanted to talk about. I guess now might be a good time to check in. It looks like, let's see, office mostly from home, stop watching the news so much. Yeah, definitely paying attention to what's going on. I think scheduling time for the news is a good idea too. Is there anybody else that has any questions right now? I want to just open it up. You can just put in the chat and I can unmute you if anybody wants to chime in here. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. And obviously, I'm going to talk a little bit about the physical health because I am a nutritionist, and so this is totally my wheelhouse. But also, I have talked to the OB networking group before, and I realize how educated you guys are when it comes to your physical health and really taking care of yourself, which I think is awesome. So I'm not going to get into every single little food and herbs, you know, staying hydrated, having vitamin C, all of these things are very important. A couple additional things that I wanted to talk about, and I'll send a list. I mentioned this in the beginning. There's a link if you scroll all the way to the top, and I'll put it again at the end. But I'm going to send all of this information out in an email. It's going to have a page on my website, so you can reference this, and I'm going to send some additional resources for some of the stuff that I'm talking about. So back to the physical health part of it. A couple other immunity tips. There are a couple different supplements or things that I've been using that I have found really beneficial right now. One of them is CBD. That's because it is really great for your immune system, but it is also really calming and it brings your body into balance. So to me, you know, if you have like a stressful moment and then also just keeping our immune health up, I have a CBD that has turmeric and black pepper and ginger. So I get the benefits of those as well. And then, you know, there are some foods, I think, you know, from what I've talked to a lot of you guys before, consuming things like ginger and garlic, anything in the onion family, those things are really beneficial for the immune system. There are some herbs like echinacea and bee propolis, and I have a whole article on this on my website that I'll link to, so you guys can check that out. But another one that I've been using every day for a couple of reasons are functional mushrooms. Has anybody else used any kind of functional mushrooms? Not the kind that get you like high and crazy, but the ones that are more medicinal. All right, I see Jen's giving me a thumbs up. Yeah, I see Lucas is giving me a thumbs up. Okay, cool. So for those of you, here we go, Four Sigmatic. Yeah, so Four Sigmatic is one of the brands of functional mushrooms. Four Sigmatic is great. I like OM mushrooms because they're based in Carlsbad, so they're local, which I think is cool. There's another one that's at the OB Farmers Market, I think Edible Alchemy, and I have one of their tinctures right now that I really like. But some of the most beneficial mushrooms that you can take, these are really, really good for your immune system. Chaga is really, really good. And the one that I've been taking is reishi. And what I like about reishi is it's also nice and calming. See a theme here, kind of calming and for the immune system. So reishi is nice and calming. It helps to balance out your adrenals, those stress hormones. So CBD, reishi, and then as far as another mushroom, there's also turkey tail. I think OM actually has a immunity blend that uses a lot of these, but these are powders that you can mix into your coffee. Four Sigmatic sells them with coffee. You can also get these tinctures, but they can be really beneficial if you're looking for something to help your immune system. These are really, really, really strong immune builders. So CBD, mushrooms, and then the last thing I wanted to touch on is fire cider. Has anybody tried fire cider? Let's see if I see any hands. No. Okay, I don't see anyone. You guys can also type in the chat. I can only see 4 people at a time, so I'm kind of scrolling through. So when it comes to fire cider is just apple cider vinegar that you infuse with a whole bunch of stuff that's also beneficial. So apple cider vinegar in itself is really beneficial. It has a lot of great enzymes. It's a fermented product. So it's really great for digestion. It's really good to build your immune health. What you do with fire cider is you take apple cider vinegar and you put like garlic, you put onions, you put ginger, you can put hot peppers. They call it fire cider because usually at the end it is kind of like spicy and has a bite. And a lot of times you'll mix that with Manuka honey at the end. But you let it sit for about 2 weeks with all of these things in it, and the apple cider vinegar draws out all of the beneficial properties of everything that you put into it. So you can get really creative and put whatever you want. I will also have a recipe for a good one going out tomorrow. If you want to try that, it does take about 2 weeks to sit so that you can really fully infuse the apple cider vinegar. But then after that, you can take a shot of that daily. And that's a really, really good immune builder that people have been using for a really long time as well. A couple other tips for your immunity, just getting enough sleep. I think that now that we hopefully have a little bit more time, we can get a little bit more sleep. That's going to be really beneficial for your immune system as well. And sticking with the physical health aspect. Besides just building our immunities, now that we all have a little more time at home, I think it's a great time to learn some new recipes or learn how to cook for ourselves if we haven't in the past. Maybe give me a little show of hands. Who here cooks for themselves quite a bit? Or you can give me it in chat. Yeah. Oh, looks like you guys are doing good. Yeah. Awesome. I see a couple people no. Well, so this is a great time. When I work with my clients, I always tell them, don't get overwhelmed and feel like you need to do all the recipes at once. You know, find one new recipe a week and just be like, okay, I'm going to learn this one new recipe. And once you know that, as you do that week by week, you can build on and start to learn about some new recipes. And I don't know, have you guys, when I go to the store, I know everyone's stocking up on cans and frozen stuff. I personally can't find any cans or frozen stuff. So I just buy fresh produce, and I've been making that last for a couple weeks. Maybe give me a little chat. Tell me, are you guys finding mostly fresh produce? Are you sticking to a lot of canned and dried goods? Or what are your recipe ingredients in your cabinets and your freezer going on right now? Okay, so Chuck says he has both. Combo of fresh and canned. Yeah, what is great is there is a lot of fresh produce in the stores right now. Some frozen too. So there is a lot of fresh produce. I have a tip that I sent out last week to my email list. I'll, again, have it on my little resource center on my website. But I have a list of ways to keep your produce fresher, because personally, I only want to go to the store. I'm trying to go just every 2 weeks, just so I'm not out in public a lot, you know, really trying to take this seriously. So I am able to make most of my produce last for 2 weeks. So a couple of the tips are, like with cilantro, if you cut the bottoms off like the fresh flowers and you put those in a glass of water, your cilantro will last for like a month. You can do that with parsley as well. And with things like carrots and beets and other root vegetables, if you put those in like casserole dish or just some water and you let them soak in water, they'll stay really crisp and fresh. Those could last for like up to a month that way. So there are ways to keep your fresh produce lasting longer, because it is, for me at least, it's been a little bit more available in the stores, and I prefer to eat fresh if I can. And yes, support your local businesses. So any local grocery stores and local farmers and things like that are also really important. So that's a little bit about some of your physical health. I do want to touch on, you know, I'm not a trainer, but I do think that physical exercise is really important, whatever that looks like to you. Make sure you're getting some kind of physical activity. There's so many home workouts. We live in a beautiful city. We are very, very fortunate. So get outside, go for a walk, go for a run. Then you get your daily dose of vitamin D, you're getting outside, and you're also getting exercise. So that's also really important for our physical health. And I think I had another little fun meme. Oh yeah, I wanted to share this. So let me just take a little break. Sure. All right, can you guys see that? I don't know if you guys have dogs, but the dog that is probably going on a lot of walks because we're trying to get outside and get exercise. I thought that was pretty funny. So that's it for the physical health portion. Real quick, I want to keep this kind of short and sweet, but I did want to touch on some social and occupational health. So with social health, I am a very social person. If I've seen some memes about being an introvert and how this is kind of a time for introverts to rejoice. But I like to be out and see a lot of people. So Zoom, the thing that we are using right now, has been really, really beneficial for me. Has anybody else used Zoom in more of a personal? Jen, Doug, Chuck? Yeah. Okay, cool. So you can have a free account. The paid accounts are only like $15. Then you can have, you know, as many people, I think up to 100. So we've done some like Zoom happy hours, or just like had a beer, had some tea, just cut up with friends. Even now, if I just want to make a phone call, I'm like, hey, do you want to just hop on a Zoom instead? Because I think there is something to be said about seeing someone face to face, even if we're not physically in the same place. But we are social creatures, and we cannot ignore the part of our health that is being social. we do need to make sure that we are somehow incorporating this. And so Zoom can be really a great way to do it. Google Hangouts, I know I haven't used that, but I've heard that works really well. And then I've actually started doing, there's this app Twitch that I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm old, but I think that people are using this to like watch other people play video games. But I've learned that there's a lot of DJ sets on there. And so I have a lot of friends that are like, hey, let's all hop on a Zoom call and let's all put on Twitch and watch the same live DJ set. So we can all kind of pretend like we're together and have some sense of that social connection or the things that maybe we would do before when we would be out dancing or something. So there's a lot of other apps and people that are trying to do this. I know a lot of people are doing Facebook Live events. There's a house party app. I haven't checked it out yet, but I've heard people using that for like game nights and things. So definitely some apps that are stepping in and making it a little easier for us to get that social connection. I also, this weekend, it was really cool. I heard some music coming from my neighbor's house and I looked outside and they were all sitting kind of in the cul-de-sac about 6 feet apart in different little camping chairs. And they're like, yeah, grab your camping chairs, come sit 6 feet away from us. So we all grabbed our little camping chairs and we sat around and I got to meet all my neighbors, which was really cool. And, obviously we can't have a barbecue and we're not inviting people into our houses, but we do live in San Diego and we can be outside. So I think taking advantage of that. And if you're NOB, if you have cool neighbors, maybe just sitting outside in your front yards and still getting that face-to-face interaction and keeping that safe distance. So we don't want the social distancing to necessarily be, it's more like distant socializing, I think, rather than social distancing. We still want that connection. It's a physical distancing, but we need to make sure that we're keeping the social interaction. Yeah. And another thing that I found that's really helping me with my social health and with my mental health is thinking about how you can help. And there's a lot of people out there doing this, but it makes you feel good and it can help somebody else. So I'm not always in a place where I can buy all of the programs that I see some people offering. But if for instance, I saw my friend the other day and she's a server, she got let go and she's been doing this candle business. So she just ramped up on making these candles because candles are a really great, thing right now. She's just dropping them off on people's doorsteps. But she was talking about her candle business and I had this other friend that I know loves candles. And so on social media, I just said like, hey, you might love these. And so my friend ended up buying those. And so my friend gets to support local businesses. My friend that's a local business gets supported. And then I feel good because I feel like I'm connecting to the people in my community and helping to make a positive difference. So it's kind of like a win-win-win. So even if if we can support our local businesses, if we can support our local studios, however we can is great. But at the very least, if you can just show them some love, even on social media, be like, hey, this person's doing this and this is great. That can be really beneficial for us as well as a community. So that's a little bit about some social health. And I think I haven't gotten any nods from Chuck, but I think my time's about up. But I do want to talk about if you're adjusting to working from home, I have a list that a colleague put together of some work from home tips. And this literally hit the nail on the head for me the other day. I woke up and I was like, I think I'm going to wear some sweatpants today. Like I'm just kind of like in that like sweatpant mode. And I've been working from home for over a decade, so I know better. But I woke up and I was about to put my sweatpants on. I look at my phone, I have an email that's like work from home tips. And it's like, girl, put pants on. I was like, okay, you know what? Like I'm going to actually get dressed for my day. So I got dressed for my day. I get up, I usually like get a little bit ready. Like you don't need to look like you're going out or anything, but just look like if you have things during the day that you want to do for your business or that you want to do for work or that you want to accomplish, waking up and being like, okay, I'm ready for my day. I'm not still in that like sleep kind of pajamas mode. It sends a signal to our brain. So that was a big takeaway that I got from that, is just waking up and, getting ready in whatever capacity that means for you. And then a couple other working from home things is designate work times, whatever those mean for you. I talked to somebody the other day and she's like, I'm literally working from the time I'm waking up to the time I'm going to bed. And that is not going to be healthy for any of us in the long run, but it's easy to do when you're just like, okay, well, this is my work in my home. So designate times, whatever those look like for you. It doesn't need to be 8 to 5. It can be, 9 to 12 and 3 to 7 or whatever it is, but have some times that you're going to work and then have a place that you're going to work to. If you can at all, just have that place be different than your bed or maybe where you're eating, but just, even if you have to move to a different chair, but just say, okay, like when I'm sitting here, like this is when I'm working. And then when I'm sitting in the living room, like that's when I'm relaxing. It's interesting times here. So we have to be a little bit creative, but just trying to delineate a little bit about that can help us be more productive in our work. And then also not, try to separate work from life however we can in this unprecedented time. And so that is about all that I had. The one last takeaway I wanted to leave you with is, I'm going to go back to last night when I had my moment of feeling like I was just stressed out and not sure how, I was going to do socially and how I was going to do with my health. And when I'm looking at, okay, like what do I want to do? And I was like, okay, I danced. And then I came back downstairs and I was like, okay, it's time to eat something for dinner. And it was like, okay, maybe I don't feel like cooking. Maybe I'm just going to make noodles. And I thought to myself, and I'm like, what's really going on with me? Like, what areas am I not feeling fulfilled with? And is just eating whatever is easy, or if eating a piece of like avocado toast for dinner, like, is that going to fulfill me in the area that I'm lacking? And I'm like, no, like, I really want to be healthier right now. Like, I want my body to feel good. I want my brain to feel good. I want my energy to feel good. And I honestly get a lot of joy out of cooking. And if I just give myself 2 hours to make whatever I feel like making, give myself that permission, I turned on the music, and that was what I needed. So not just checking in and thinking like, oh, well, I'm not feeling good. Maybe I just need to turn on a TV show because that's what maybe seems like the best idea, but really checking in and being like, okay, is this thing that I'm about to do, or that I'm maybe falling into a habit of doing, is that this kind of self-care or the kind of thing I need right now? And sometimes it might be like, yeah, I really need to just lay on the couch. But sometimes it's like, okay, do I need to eat a bag of Cheetos, or am I really just craving a walk outside? So just checking in with yourself about what areas of health that maybe you're lacking in because of all the change that's going in right now, and doing something to help that area of your life. And then, okay, let me see. That is about it for me. Okay, so if anybody right now has any questions, I want to open it up for questions, and then we're going to go around and everybody can have some time to introduce themselves and maybe talk about either something positive that has come out of what, everything that's going on right now, or something, some way that you have adapted that has, been in a positive way, or that, might just help people, and share what you're doing that might help them. Okay, so I will let Chuck share first.
So I wanted to thank everyone for jumping on the call. And, if one positive thing came from this with regards to the networking group, it's that, over the last 5 years, we've had many, many people that have come to the group that have moved to other cities. And now people can join no matter where they are. So the other thing that's happening is there are some people that used to come and then they had a job where they were driving away and they weren't able to come, but now they have more time. So I think that's a positive. And thanks for everyone for coming out. And I'm going to put in the group chat the website, obnetworking.com, and we're going to try to do this every Tuesday. So that's it. Thank you guys for coming out.
Awesome. So if anybody, let me see, Jen, did you want to share that?
Okay, sure. Well, she was talking about, do I have avocado toast last night or something more? And I've been cooking meals most nights because I have someone to cook for at the moment. And last night I had a big lunch and I decided I didn't really care and I wanted to eat the damn cheese toast. And sometimes you have to do that too. I am a personal trainer and I usually am very healthy. But this morning I have spent the last week trying to figure out how to film myself and have it look good and have everyone see me and try and bring my business online like trial by fire. And I decided that this morning why I was feeling unmotivated is I just needed to do some yoga, do something just good on my mat and not film myself and not have to tell anybody how to do it because I sometimes need that too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Let me see. Let me see if I can get Cinda. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, it says Desig's iPhone. You said you had some.
I know, I'm still talking apparently.
Oh, all right. There you go. All right, you're on.
Hi, it's Cynthia. It's just my
Cynthia.
phone. There you go. I hate to do video because I never look really awesome. So
Oh, you're fine. You look great.
lupus, I have lupus, right? So, and I'm allergic to antibiotics, right? But so this has been a little interesting time for me, but that's why I always cook from home anyways. And I've been having a great time sharing what I cook. There's a group called the Quarantine Kitchen, which is a bunch of local chefs on Facebook. So they always post who's selling what products from which farms and a lot of great recipe sharing. I have another network up in like North County called the Quarantine Network. They're a bunch of entertainment people that have lost their jobs, and they have a 24-hour network with different videos about real estate, about food, about health, or things like that. So if people are feeling alone, there's always someone there because some of the people are on the East Coast. And someone I worked with, well, they actually worked for me a long time ago overseas. We had a bakery in Greece, right? She's in Tennessee, and she has another network of musician people. And so there's always other groups online, so no one really should feel alone.
Yeah.
So I work in 3 different types of businesses. I work in like flooring design. So that job laid me off for now. I work in websites and digital marketing and mobile apps, and that never stops. And then I write. And actually, it finally gave me a chance to do my third edit on a book that I'm sending into my publisher. So that's it's keeping me busy. So I don't know how people feel bored at home. I have too many things I want to do.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Thank you for having this group.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing so much. Okay. I'm going to hop over to Nate. You said that you had some things that you wanted to share. I'll spotlight you. Hold on. Let me.
There you go. So I run a fitness and martial arts studio here in Point Loma. And me and my business partner who's here, we're doing some side work stuff. We're going online as much as possible, one-on-one Zoom classes with our kids, posting up workouts for our network of members. But the biggest thing, thank you, Chuck, we've been trying to get a redesigned website for some time. And for me and him to sit down together and go through a website for 3-4 hours at a time just never would have happened while we were open, because we start at 5:30 in the morning and usually excited for a 2-hour break in the middle of the day, run until about 8 o'clock every night. So Chuck helped us redo a website that launched yesterday. So we got a whole new redesigned, fully super cool website out. And I actually don't have to get up at 4:30 every day. So that's been kind of nice.
Yeah.
But I miss my early crew, but yeah, we've been keeping it positive and trying to do what we can and getting some of the big stuff that we just haven't ever been able to get around to knocked out. So
That's awesome. Yeah. Sounds like you're making the best of things too.
yeah, and still working out every day. Luckily, we have a full gym that I can come into. So.
That's nice. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go next. I think spotlight video. There you go. You're on.
2 things positive that have come from this. One thing is a personal thing, and I actually wrote it down. A friend of mine told me this quote a long time ago, and it's finally really sinking into me. So I think it's backwards, but
No, it comes through right.
Okay, it does. Limited means is exactly the type of restriction that liberates creativity. And you know, I realized that I've gotten so used to just like, oh, I need something, I'll go to the store and pick it up, or you know, order it or whatever. And so now it's kind of given me like, well, what can I use around my house that, you know, will satisfy whatever comes up. And with cooking, for example, I've been cooking with different things that I never cooked before. Trying different recipes, you know, as you said, is something that, you know, usually I would go out and pick something up. So this has been kind of a fun time to explore that a little bit more. And then professionally, I do web design and graphic design, and I haven't reached out to a lot of people that I used to work with. So this has been a great time for me to sort of you know, at this time, it's just so nice to reach out to people. And so I've kind of sent emails or messages or phone calls to people that I used to work with. And it's just a great way to reconnect with not just professional people, but also friends maybe you haven't talked with, just to check in. And it's been great. So, you know, even though it's a challenging time right now, just trying to go day by day and stay positive. And I really appreciate this. And thank you, Nicole, for all the great tips. And I'm really happy to see everybody here. And I do miss being at Taimana because it's so pretty out there on the patio, but it's really great to see all of you too. And thank you, Chuck, for putting this together.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so glad that you could attend, and thank you for sharing. Okay, so let's go. There you go. You're on.
Ooh, on the moon.
Oh, let me see. I think you're on. Yeah. Everybody see?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, there you are.
All right. My name is Kyle. I have a phone repair business, and I've always been cloud-based and mobile. So I've kind of, I guess I work from home, but I work from wherever my phone is working. So being quarantined is a little different because everyone else is now forced to be at home. My business is actually picked up because Apple's closed. All the carrier stores are closed. So all my giant competitors are pretty much shut down. Makes it kind of easy for me to swoop in and win those customers. Yeah, thanks Chuck for my website. I built my website. Trying to do YouTube videos. I haven't done one in a while. But I actually just started this morning. I started to learn soldering. Here, check this out. Got a little solder station going over here. Oh, I guess it won't let me show you because we're on the moon.
Oh, we lost you in space.
Let me turn this off for a second. Yeah, so I got a little station going up here with the learning everything from YouTube and the interwebs. How do I go back? I've never done Zoom before, so that's kind of fun. Yeah, actually, what's new, I guess, with what my behavior is, I've been calling and reaching out to a lot of friends and family that I hadn't spoken with for a while. Consistently calling my mom on FaceTime. Yeah, just trying to enjoy just the slow pace of life that has seemed to outpace us. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but yeah, it's been a good time. Yeah. My eating habits are horrible. I eat a lot of frozen food. I had tried to cook for myself a while back, but it's hard to develop those good habits of planning and shopping. And that's about it. I love the networking group, Miss Taimana and Marguerite.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's my favorite. So I miss her. I hope her business is doing well. I haven't got anything to go from there. I haven't been spending money on restaurant food, so that's helping me save money. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. Thanks for coming in from space.
Yes. It's lonely up here.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to switch over. Let me see. Let me unmute you real quick. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
You guys can hear me? So, hi, Kyle. Nice to see you. CC Summerfield. I'm actually here because I have a request if there's any photographers out there. Let me back up a little bit. I put together like a photography challenge for kids because I know there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of stuff out there, but I wanted to include locals and help local businesses or community members with their businesses, like yoga teachers, bookstore owners, that kind of thing, by creating a Zoom call for those things, artists and stuff like that. And one of the things I put up there on my site, and I'll put that in the chat so you can see the page I'm talking about, is a photography challenge. I thought it might be fun for kids who are just walking around the neighborhood, like, to take pictures of what they're seeing out there and have a challenge with that. So I thought it might be fun to add maybe a class on taking pictures with your iPhone or your cell phone, or your parent's cell phone in that case. And so if there's anybody out there that is really like skilled at the iPhone, you know, as far as pictures, maybe it's Kyle. I don't know, Kyle, if you're on this, but or a photographer that, you know, is pretty handy with the iPhone. I would love to do like a Zoom call specifically for kids to teach them more about how to utilize their iPhone camera. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah. Awesome.
If there's anybody out there that's interested in working on that, Instacut. Thank you, Kyle. More practice. Cool. Well, then you should hone your skills in and then teach it to everybody else. Oh yeah, I like that too from Raquel at Stronghold too. Scavenger hunt. That's an awesome idea too. So let me know if you put that together, because I would love to have that posted on the link that I shared there too. I'm open to sharing that, you know, and getting it more. I actually ran an ad on Facebook for fun for kids at home. And so there is traffic going to that page. And so hopefully we're getting some sites on that, or some looks at that. And by the way, my profession is a real estate agent. So I'm really focusing on community right now and trying to get business alive at the same time. So
awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. If anybody else wants to hop on, I don't think I saw anybody else on here. If anybody else wants to hop on and share, let me know. Oh, okay. Lucas, let me unmute you. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
You're on.
I'm brand new to this. Chuck just sent me a message the other day inviting me, so glad to be here kind of learning. I've been in the fitness industry for about 9 years. And then I actually, right now, I'm doing screen printing and embroidery. I met the owner in kind of a non-traditional way. He actually died in my gym, and I did the CPR on him. We hit him with the AED, and he came back to life. And about a year later, I'm working for him now with the intention of taking over his business in a couple of years. So I'm really here to really learn about business. I learn from him every day. But nice thing is he's always been word of mouth. We do a lot of youth sports and a lot of high schools. But this time it's kind of given me the ability to work on our online presence, which is kind of nice because we've never had one. And another positive thing, I've got to spend some more time with my kids. It's very tough when you're online and you see everyone talking about, oh, my kids are driving me crazy. And I think we can all agree this is something we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. And you don't want to really look back and remember how you got annoyed by your kids, and really just kind of take this time to enjoy them, even though it's really hard time for everyone financially and emotionally. But really just try to enjoy this time, and I'm glad I got to be here, got to meet some new faces, and that's really it. Stronghold, we are champion t-shirts, and we're located in Scripps Ranch. But that's about it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and if you want to put a link to your website in the chat, you can also do that, and then we know where to find you.
Sure, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have you. Is there anyone else that wanted to share something or introduce themselves, or I don't think I see anybody. Oh wait, William. William, I can unmute you.
Hi, everybody. I haven't had the chance to join this meeting. I've known Chuck for a while now. Actually, the first company I've ever worked at in San Diego, Chuck was a part of, and that's how we initially met. We both live in OB, so we see each other walking around every once in a while to catch up. I usually work during the times that this meeting is, but have the chance now to be a part of it now that everybody's home. I was actually recently let go from my company. We service the bar and restaurant industry. So the company is kind of in a lull right now. So I'm back on the job hunt. My background is in demand generation. I'm a marketer. You can check out my website. I'll put it in the chat. It's just myname.com. And yeah, I'm here to help anybody out in any way they need. I've helped out hundreds of small businesses generate demand for themselves. Pretty much can do it all in the marketing space. So if anybody has any questions or has any interest in chatting, you can reach out to me through my website, and you can just reach out to me on here if you want to chat. So nice to meet you, everybody.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing. Is there, I don't think I saw anybody else. Is there anybody else that wanted to share? No? Okay. Well, if that is it, then I guess we are, oh, Chuck wants to share. let me get him on here. There you are.
So I just wanted to thank Nicole for presenting today. I'm sorry I stepped away for a period of time during this call. I have a handyman and he called me up and he needed to get in. So I apologize. I had to sneak away, but thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you, Nicole, for doing this. You did a great job. Now, a question is, this whole chat, does it somewhere that could be emailed out to, or networking group Facebook page? I guess I could just grab it right now.
I think there's, I have a save chat button on the right side, the little 3 dots. I can save the chat. So I can do that, or if you, I don't know if you have that option too.
Okay, I'm gonna try to save it, but if you could send it to me just in case. I want to post this thing on the networking group page, and if anyone else wants to drop in their website link or anything like that, or your LinkedIn, any other information, go ahead and send it over, and that way we can get it dispersed through Facebook. So thanks everyone up, and thanks again, Nicole. I really appreciate it. Great job.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys. See you soon.
Take care.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Bye.